Here's our top games list for colony simulator games. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, man, I wish I could play a city builder game where an earthquake would mean game over, then Cliff Empire is your dream come true. Here, after a nuclear apocalypse, humanity decides that the best idea is to build cities on narrow cliffs instead of, taking refuge underground. You'll have to balance resources, manage trade, and make sure that your inhabitants don't get depressed at the thought that one slip would send them straight to the afterlife. Urban planning? More like extreme risk planning. Do you by chance want to be a pioneer who doesn't explore, doesn't fight, and spends their life organizing supply chains? Then welcome to Pioneers of Patagonia, where the drama is all about producing wood and bread to keep your economy from collapsing. In this utopian society simulator, the inhabitants seem pretty happy while you rack your brain organizing trade routes and also maintaining trying not to cry when you're short of some critical resource. Is the game pretty? Yep, it is. Is it a logistical nightmare? Yep, it is. But at least here, nobody yells at you because they're all a bit too optimistic. If you've ever wanted to combine civil engineering with, let's say communist beavers, then the game Timberborn is just for you. Forget about humans who clearly ruined the planet, because now it's the turn of these adorable creatures to rebuild their own civilization. You'll have to manage their diet based on tree bark, of course, and you'll also have to plan hydraulic structures that would make any architect cry with pride. However, beware, because if you do not work hard, your beavers will go from being a hardworking society to a bunch of hairy skeletons in record time. Would you like to experience life in the Middle Ages without having to deal with the Black Plague? Then Stronghold Definitive Edition is just for you. Stronghold will let you build castles, lead armies, and feed your peasants, as long as you don't forget to keep those ungrateful peasants happy. Oh, and if you thought you could relax, remember that the enemy catapults never rest. Because there's nothing as strategic as watching your fortress get blown to pieces while you pray that your archers shoot a bit faster. Let's move on to another great game, Cult of the Lamb. This is a rogue-like that combines colony simulator mechanics in a game where you get to be an adorable little lamb who recruits followers, builds his own cult, and sacrifices heretics who don't believe in your cause. It's a little bit like someone mixing Animal Crossing with a rather satanic ritual and turning it into a great video game. You get to build your own community, manage resources, and make demonic pacts, of course. Well, what is faith without a little hellish chaos, right? All this while decorating your altar like a good, stylish cult leader. In our next game, Farthest Frontier, you'll face the challenge of building a medieval village from scratch while nature actively conspires to kill you. In every way possible, from plagues to brutal winters, even to angry animals like bears, or even carrots that refuse to grow if you don't get it just right. And if you do manage to keep your villagers alive for more than a year without dying of starvation or dysentery, you deserve a prize. But hey, at least you get to enjoy the scenery around before it all falls apart. Now, we're off to another planet where fantasy has just crashed. In the game Stranded: Alien Dawn, you get to be put to the test as the improvised leader of a group of survivors as you try not to die of things like hunger, alien attacks, and cold as well. Your decisions dictate whether you build a decent shelter or whether your colonists go mad and kill each other. Civilization in the making or absolute chaos. That choice is yours. But we have a bit of a spoiler alert for you. It's probably going to be the latter. You might have always thought that building a space colony would be super cool. Probably until you play Ixion and discover that running a space station is basically like being a firefighter in space. Critical systems failing, resources running out, and plenty of unhappy colonists. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. Trust us. But don't worry, you can always enjoy the spectacular visuals while your crew starves to death. It's kind of like a galactic cruise ship, except here the Titanic is constantly crashing into big meteorites. Good luck. And without even leaving Earth, we now go to its depths. If you want to feel really small, then Empires of the Undergrowth is the game for you. You'll get to take control of an ant colony, and surprisingly, that includes more drama than you might expect. You'll be tasked with collecting food, expanding your colony, and even facing deadly enemies such as spiders and even other rival ants. And of course, the most bullshit race of them all, the humans, who obviously can't just stop stepping on your turf literally. It's basically like StarCraft, but with more legs and fewer lasers and guns. Have you ever dreamed of living on top of a giant dinosaur? I haven't really either, but the game The Wandering Village makes that dream come true. You get to build a colony on the back of Onbu, a very adorable creature that from time to time decides to ignore you and wander into toxic areas. This is a game quite literally about symbiosis, where you take care of Onbu and Onbu takes care of you, or just throws you into the abyss. And hey, if you're really trying to survive in this game, you're probably gonna die still. If you're into that red planet that everybody talks about, then the game Surviving Mars will make you discover that colonizing Mars sounds pretty cool until you actually get there and realize that the whole planet is designed to kill you. In Surviving Mars, your mission is to survive while trying to build a self-sufficient colony in a place where things like water and oxygen, and unfortunately common sense, are conspicuous by their absence. Constant crises is what your life will be in this game. An abundance of drones too. It's kind of like The Sims, but with a lot more death by asphyxiation. If you want to see how quickly a colony can turn into disaster, you probably know about RimWorld. And if you don't, you should probably take some time to play it. RimWorld is a simulator where the colonists all have complex personalities, things like traumas and a tendency to accidentally set themselves on fire. Sometimes accidentally isn't accidentally. Each game is an epic story of survival that usually ends in cannibalism and someone losing a leg to a rabid squirrel or something like that. It's kind of like watching a reality show, but with a lot more chaos. Now, we reach another well-known game called Oxygen Not Included, a game where you manage an underground colony where everything from oxygen itself to sanity is a limited resource. Your duplicates have to dig, build, and also not suffocate while you try to solve problems like a plumber in hell. In the end, you always learn a valuable lesson though. Lessons like toxic gases are inevitable, and so is incompetence. So if the game Surviving Mars didn't convince you that colonizing a planet is difficult, then the game Planet Base is here to crush all your dreams. This game makes you manage oxygen, food, and energy, all while your colonists do pretty smart things, I guess, like walking straight into deadly storms. With every step, the game seems to say to you, did you really think you could survive here? Spoiler, nope. And now we're going to end up traveling back in time to the Middle Ages, because in medieval dynasty, you are neither a knight nor a nobleman, but a simple peasant trying to build his village from scratch. Your success all depends on how many animals you can hunt, how many fields you can plant, and how many times you can survive the winter. This is quite literally like a medieval life simulator, so realistic that you can almost smell the lack of hygiene, and you can really feel the desperation of your starving villagers as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you didn't see a game you were expecting to be on this list, let us know in the comments below, and we'll leave you with another top list video that I'm sure you'll love.